Hi guys. So, last few minutes there's been a few meltdowns, and I'm not gonna lie, just been in bits. I've been in bits because I bought a bunch of coriander so I could do Thai tuna salad, and it has rotted. It's rotted to the point where you don't want to open the bag. I only bought it 3 days ago, I'm not gonna lie. We live on £7 a year. That's all we have because I'm disabled. I'm not permitted to work. Companies cannot get workers' compensation insurance for me. And so therefore I'm not allowed to do my job, apart from the fact that I can't do my job because I can't stand long enough. Okay, and doing these videos, most of my prep work gets done on my desk and I bring it back to the kitchen. So there you go, there's the secret. Ta-da! Okay. And my partner stays home with me to make sure I'm okay. Because there are days like today where I go a little bit, yep, and dip my shit. Bin bag, yep. Which ones are they?
White ones.
The white ones, okay. Right. So yes, all over a bunch of coriander. Except it's not really, because we have, to me, it's a slap in the face to everybody else who has got kids or just can't afford to buy food in this country, and at the moment that is becoming a worse epidemic than COVID ever has been. There's another hundreds of thousands of kids at the moment who are being forced into poverty, especially over Christmas, who will not have food except for the food banks, and that is just like, what? You know, we do all right, okay, because we budget carefully, and we have, in the summer we've got our bits around the house, like with our little raised beds, planter beds and the front bed and all of that kind of thing. We do okay, all right, but there are people out there that can't feed the kids. They can't. And that's on the money that the government gives them. They can't do it because they can't pay the rent, they can't do the electric, they can't do everything else, and they can't feed the kids on it. There is a reason there is a free lunch system in this country, and that is it. Because benefits were never meant to be a long-term thing for people to live on without a good reason. So, yeah. So when I have things that go off in my cupboards or in the fridge or in where we keep all the root vegetables and stuff like that, which is out in the front porch, I tend to lose my shit a bit. Now, I've worked in food banks. I've been reliant on food banks at one point, and you know, before there were food banks, I had 2 children, and I had months or weeks and months where I had to eat what the kids left over. I'm not gonna lie, because that was hard, and that's the way that parents do it, and that's the way a lot of single parents do it. And I was working at the time. So, you know, to me, I can just imagine what these families are going through right now, and it's devastating. It's either feed the kids or feed yourself. Feed yourself. Because see, because I was a chef, it didn't matter if I ate or not, because I could go to work the next day. Obviously not my days off, but I could go to work the next day and I could eat at work. But my kids couldn't. So they got fed. I ate what was left. If I wasn't working the next day. If I was working the next day, I left it, they had leftovers. That's just the way it worked. There were weeks where it went down to the point where we were having 2-minute noodles and a handful of mixed veg chucked in. You know, that's what they had to do, and I had to arrange with the school that they had meal vouchers, because in Australia, food works differently in the schools, and they don't have a free lunch system at all. You order it, and that's it, or the school helps you out if necessary. But you then have to pay that money back. Yeah. So, right now, I'm very worked up about all of this. I'm really worked up about the fact that one of the letters has come to light from one of the MPs trying to justify starving children, and also that he benefited from the free lunch system when he was a child, you know, but apparently it's okay to just ignore, you know, hundreds of thousands of kids who are about to be plunged into more severe poverty than they've been in for the rest of the year. And I know that COVID is part of this, but this is something that has been going on for a long time. And people just aren't recognising it until now, because it's affecting them. And they're suddenly starting to see, oh, well, actually, we can't live on this. How has anybody else been able to? Well, other people have had to manage somehow, you know? And it doesn't make it any better. It doesn't. It really doesn't. If anything, it makes it worse. It does. So right now I'm going to put something together with some of the stuff that looks like it's about to turn, because I don't want to waste any more food. I can't. My heart can't take it. My heart's broken for these kids, and I can't do anything about it. I can't do the meals like I used to do, because I used to be one of the first ones down the community centre making meals or whatever, or I'd have a list of people and I'd be making meals and all that kind of stuff. This was before food banks. Food banks have not always been there. Certainly not at the level that they're at in this country now. So, you know, but I can't do that now because I don't have the physical strength to be able to do it, and I wish I did, but I don't. So all I can do is now use up what we have. And since I have to do this food challenge, we will, you know, do it as part of the food challenge. It's not a big deal. All the fresh food's going to have to go first. That's the main thing. We're going to have to use all of that first before anything else, because otherwise it's going to go off. We can't afford for it to go off, let's be fair. Alright, so the stuff that's in the fridge is going to have to get used first for the most part, especially the soft stuff, like, you know. So I'm going to make a kind of like a veggie seafood stick salad that I can use to roll up in lettuce leaves. So instead of having like bread or wraps or anything like that. I mean, I've got flour, I've got all that stuff. I can make it if I wanted to. I would rather keep that flour and all that kind of thing for when I absolutely need to, rather than, you know, when I don't have to, because we've got lettuce, we can use that. It's not a big deal. In fact, I could turn this just into a salad. It doesn't have to be wrapped up in anything. But I haven't had breakfast this morning. I'm not really thinking clearly. So yeah, we'll crack on to it. Yeah. Okay, hang on a second. Okay, so these are the ingredients we've got to work with. We've got celery, we've got cucumber, I'm going to use that bit, probably more than that. We've got lime, we've got red onion, we've got some spring onion, we've got yellow pepper, we've got some of our wonky bits of carrot, because we buy the wonky carrots, we've got seafood sticks, and we've also got an eggplant, which is completely on the turn, and I'm going to get as much out of that as I possibly can, because, yeah, there should still be a decent little slab down there, so I can at least feel like I've eaten some of it, and then the rest we can just chuck into the compost. Yeah, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I've actually managed to get quite a decent chunk of that off, frankly. So, get this sticker off, that'd be great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dice this up, and then I'm going to put some salt on it. I'm going to put it in that dish, and it can sit there for 20 minutes while I take the rest of the stuff into the living room, to my desk, and do it there, because, you know, I just wanted to show you that you can actually get quite a decent amount off one of these, even though it's gone a bit. And there's probably quite a few of you that are sitting there going, how? Why would you do that? Well, you know, the average eggplant is around £2. we can't get them until, we can't grow them until next year. So, you know, I wanted to do it. I got the eggplants so that I could do the bacon, veggie bacon video. It's not one of my favourite things, I'm not gonna lie. It really isn't. But it's not a bad thing either. Just getting the salt, oof, for this. Ugh. Now it's going to be really important to salt this and let it sit, because it is so old, it's going to have a lot of bitterness in it, and this is how you're going to get that bitterness out. So there you go. Right, that's going to sit to the side, and I'm going to bugger off to my desk. Back soon. Okay, we're back finally. So I have done the radishes, carrot, celery, cucumber, capsicum, and yellow pepper, and spring onions. So they're all going in there. I ran out of room on my board, which is why I haven't really done anything else. So I'm just going to mix those up in there. I'm only going to use half of this red onion. I'm not going to use all of it because we've got the spring onion in there as well. This is more about change of texture and flavour in it. So we're going to do this. Ta-da! There have been a few changes in the ingredients. That's mostly because I've been piddling around the kitchen trying to do everything. Having a wander around, talking with Tanny about what we're going to do in the garden next year. I've actually swapped the lime out for a lemon. So I thought that would be better, because what I'm going to do is that's going to be my dressing, which is like a crab flavour filling sandwich piece of crap. But it's incredibly rich by itself. It doesn't really taste really great, but it works as a mayo kind of thing. So we're going to use that. I've got some of the dill that we got, that I dried earlier this year. I've got some sesame seeds, I've got Nigella seeds, and I've got some of my poor man's capers that I've made already. So they're going to go in as well. Yeah, so we're going to get cracking with all of that. So I'm just going to... Right, the eggplant's going to be roasted off for something else. Just letting you know. So we've got a good handful of those. Good few. Oh, they smell so good. The only difference between the poor man's capers and actual capers is that they've got a little bit of a kick to them. That's all. That's all it is. But they still taste amazing. And I've still got some more that I've got to do. So we're going to chuck those straight in there. Now, I need to get a little bit of this dill off. Just get a couple of those. There we go. That'll do. Now, I know I dried it on the stem and I left it on the stem and I didn't put it through the food processor, blah, 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 blah. I actually prefer it this way. So I just pull a bit out when I want it, and if I wanted a longer stalk rather than just, you know, ground up kind of thing, then I can do that. Right, so that's going straight in. Wee bit of dill. Probably have that way, actually. There we go. Ta-da! Right. And we're going to chuck in sesame seeds. Ow! Probably that many. That'll do. A little goes a long way. Oof. Ah! At least we know that jar seals well. I'm going to put a few little Nigella seeds in there, because they kind of remind me of onion flavoured black toasted sesame seeds, which I don't have, so they're going in there. And they added their own little flavour to it. Now I'm going to have to break some of these out. And get those done really quickly because my back's about to go. It is not happy. It's going, are you kidding me? The only thing that annoys the shit out of me about this stuff is that they're all wrapped individually. So swap these over again. Hang on a sec. Doof. There we go. They're all wrapped individually. Now the surimi mix that you get in Australia, like the seafood mix, seafood extender they call it or whatever, isn't. And it's in chunks and it's a lot easier to use than this stuff. But, you know, this stuff's 75p. That stuff is like £3 for a 100 gram packet. Or 250 gram packet. So, screw that. And we just deal with this. Okay, so that will be enough for this. I'm just going to chop those roughly. You don't need anything too fancy. Doesn't need to be fancy. Chuck those in there. And I'm going to cut off a good couple of cheeks of our lemons because honestly, this is going to need quite a bit because the mayo is quite claggy. Let's get those seeds off. And quite rich. Kind of desperately needs the lemon or the acidity to get through it. So, right. So, what we're going to do is we're going to add this first, right? Before our lemons. See the wonderful amount of room I've got to use. Woo! Right. There we go. And that will we'll mix that all the way through. Ooh, get back in there. See, like I said, it's very, very claggy. But adding the lemon juice to it, you could add, if you wanted to, you could add like apple cider vinegar. That would work. White wine vinegar if you wanted to. That could work as well. I'm just going to use lemon. Because lemon, and I love lemons, so more lemon. I'm going to use the juice of a whole lemon, I think, because, like I said, it's pretty damn claggy. Alright, I'm going to use a little bit of salt and pepper. Oh, shit, forgot to take that off. Whoops. Dumbass. Right, there we go. Alright. Tony, you gonna try this?
No.
Why? It's just a salad. I haven't put anything scary in it.
Yeah, okay.
Hey? Alright, so there we go. I'm going to put the rest of those bits in the compost bin. Compost bowl. We need a new bowl for this. So I need my bowl back. Okay. Right. Hang on. Okay, so we've got our plate. And we've got some of our lettuce. I have decided to do this. So I'm going to do that. And some of this, that one. Alright, these are what they use now instead of cos lettuce. I really don't like them so much. I prefer the little gems, to be honest, because they're much better for, you know, having food in. Okay. I'm going to get a shovel. I'm going to shovel our salad right in the middle. So we can do whatever we like with it. like with it. Make this without this crab. I don't care. It's all good. You know, it's just about using leftovers. And, you know, that whole thing. And I've got that much left. So that's enough for another 2 servings. This has probably cost me a total of less than £1. Probably less than £1. Because you got to look at cutting it all down. It's probably cost, yeah, probably about £1. Maybe. If I'm being, maybe £1.20 for the whole thing. And that's for the whole bowl, not just this plate. That's for the whole bowl. So that's probably going to feed me at least 3 times. So that's not bad. You can do these fancy looking things on a budget. It's all good. Just before you go, just to make sure that you guys know that I'm going to eat it. Actually, that's not bad. This may only last a day. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Yep. Translation, go make your own. I'm not sharing. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Oh, yeah. And if you liked it, subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. That'd be awesome. That'd be very cool. I will see you later.